Hello, everyone. My name is Tia, and I will be talking about Mary Cassatt and her artwork. As a female in the 19th century, Mary was expected to get married and have children. However, Mary Cassatt had other dreams. She defied all social norms. Deciding not to marry, she left her affluent family in Philadelphia to become an artist in the male-dominated Parisian art world. She is most known for her paintings depicting both the social and private lives of women from a woman's point of view. For this, Mary Cassatt and her paintings are considered feminist before the term was coined. Becoming an artist as a woman in the 19th century was extremely difficult. Her success was a feat, as she had three strikes against her: her gender, her nationality, and her subject matter. Against odds, Cassatt became one of only three women Impressionist painters and the only American to fully integrate into the Impressionist artistic movement. Cassatt was part of the Impressionist movement and also called Edgar Degas, one of the founders of Impressionism, her mentor and lifelong friend. Impressionism is an art movement characterized by relatively small, thin, yet visible brushstrokes, open composition, and an emphasis on accurate depiction of light and how the eye sees that light. They seek to create not the landscape, but the sensation or feeling produced by the landscape. The new color theory emphasized the presence of color within shadows and asserted that there was no black in nature. This inspired the Impressionists to ban black from their color palette. As a female artist, Mary Cassatt was limited with what was deemed acceptable for a female to paint. Even in progressive 19th century Paris, respectable women could not walk around the city alone or travel to the countryside without chaperones. She did not choose to paint landscapes like so many Impressionist artists, but instead chose to capture the lives of contemporary women, often using her sister as her muse. Her subject matter was considered groundbreaking, as women were rarely the focus of paintings during this period. This painting shows Impressionism techniques used, such as loose and feathery brushstrokes and bright color choices. This painting showcases the Impressionist style of excluding the color black in favor of building colors to create shadows. In this painting, Cassatt portrays how women in the 19th century were starting to assert themselves in the male-dominated world. Cassatt hints at the importance of female literacy and involvement in society beyond the home. By painting her sister reading the newspaper, she is showing how women can and should increase their awareness of current events, something that women did not do during this era. Coincidentally, this painting inspired a beloved book, loosely based on Cassatt, about two sisters in an affluent Parisian family. This painting also portrays Cassatt's sister Lydia. The pearl necklace she wears, along with her eloquent dress, white gloves, and fan, represent her social status as she sits in her private box at a theater. Cassatt is displaying more of her feminist point of view in this painting, as women were rarely portrayed as the main subject of art pieces, especially in such a place as a theater. The theater was traditionally seen as promiscuous and a place where women were flaunting their sexuality. Notice that Cassatt positioned her subject in front of a mirror in order to depict the theater and other patrons behind the woman. Lydia is watching the show in one direction, whereas the other spectators are viewing the performance in the opposite direction. By the 1880s, Parisian women were starting to drive horse carriages. This was a huge step forward for women's independence. Cassatt portrays this pivotal historic moment. It shows an educated and independent woman taking the reins both literally and metaphorically over her life. This painting is again her sister Lydia and Edgar Degas' niece. Cassatt has strategically placed Lydia's hands in the center of the painting, showing that she is in total command of the reins. The top-hatted male valet is sitting passively in the back of the carriage, being transported by a woman. This painting champions the feminist idea of a young girl growing up with the new modern woman as her role model. In 1890, more than 18% of children ages 10 to 15 were employed into horrible working conditions in mines and factories. Cassatt's consistent depictions of mother and child were said to be controversial reminder that children were not adults and deserved to be nurtured during their youth and not used as inexpensive labor. In this picture, a woman holds a child on her lap as the child dips her toe into the bowl of water, perhaps testing the water temperature. The mother appears to be telling the child a story as she bathes. Some critics say this painting resembles the Madonna washing the feet of the Christ child. In 1890, an exhibition of the Japanese masters came to Paris, and Cassatt became an ardent fan of the ukiyo-e genre. Inspired, she emulated their style the following year in a group of 10 drawing prints of Parisian themes in Japanese essence. That included woman bathing. True to her Impressionist roots, Cassatt noticeably steered clear of using the color black. Cassatt merges Western and Eastern imagery with the floral patterns that subtly hint at the drawing's Japanese heritage. Cassatt makes this private moment public while allowing the bather to remain anonymous. Throughout her career, Cassatt was known for her independence, modern views, and Impressionist paintings. I hope you have enjoyed this introduction to Muery Cassatt, an American in Paris.